back to the discussion panel on judicial deception regarding Hamilton County Superior Court in the state of Indiana, part 16. Oh my goodness. We got to part 16. My name is Malika Clary-Ghosh, and I am so thrilled that a lot of you guys are viewing my segments. Last time we spoke, we talked about Judge Burdock is the special judge, and she came back with the motion to correct errors. Well, she came back with those. We actually had a emergency hearing on February 14th that I called because there was the motion to correct errors came in, and they said, well, she said that I can get first right to refusal. That was one thing I was happy about. But I guess the other side, my ex-husband's attorney, wanted to argue that the motion to correct errors wasn't timely. That means that I didn't have a right to, well, the judge didn't have a right to answer the motion to correct errors because it's past jurisdiction. And also the first right to refusal, we never argued those points in any of the evidence with the bad judge, Judge Hughes. So we had to go, I had emergency hearing called because my ex-husband wasn't following the order anyway. With phone calls, not really too much of the phone calls, but mainly we wanted to talk about the first right to refuse because I'm supposed to get that. And he did not give it to me because he stated that he's going to wait until he goes to court or wait until the judge ruled differently because he believed it was an error. I feel that it's still ordered. He should still follow it. Well, anyway, we had court. I wasn't as pleased because we had court on the diamond ring as well. If you remember in the other segments, this is why I have a lawsuit against the judge. I wasn't pleased with Judge Burdock as much as I have been in the past because, actually, I'll tell you that. Let me just rewind it before I go to that part because there is a video or a little audio you will hear too, and this is why I'm not pleased with her on that issue. But when we did the hearing, comes to find out, the Judge Burdock, she believes that we didn't argue the points of first right to refusal as much as we have in the past. I kind of believe her now. I kind of agree because when we did argue first right to refuse, we talked about relocation. My ex-husband wanted to relocate, and I said, well, you know what? If you're going to relocate, let the child stay with me or let me spend time with the child. And it was during that part. I guess in legal terms, if you want to argue about first right to refusal, then you need to specifically say first right to refusal. I thought we was asking for additional parenting time. But that doesn't mean we can't argue that on February 27th hearing or, the coming hearings in the custody/parenting modification of parenting time. So she modified her motion to correct errors and said, well, it wasn't really argued. So I'm going to go with that. I think she's playing it safe. Part of me agree, and part of me is like, okay, I don't know what this is all about. She didn't give me anything. But then, on the other hand, she didn't put him in contempt for that either. But she didn't acknowledge the fact that the order came out on the 3rd, and we were in court on the 14th. That was 6 days, or actually more than 6 days that he could have followed that order. Even if he got it, came out on Friday, got it on a Monday, he still had enough time to follow it. But he didn't. She didn't acknowledge that. We will bring that up because he did not follow the order. And that really bothers me because that's what we're talking about. We're always going to court for things that he's not following. So we're mentioning that during coming hearings. But she changed that, so no first right to refusal. I was disappointed with that. But like I said, I will be arguing those points in the further hearings. So that doesn't mean that I can't argue it. Yes, I can. So she played safe with that. Then she didn't hold him in contempt because he didn't get the order from his counsel, on the day of or on that weekend. So she didn't hold him in contempt for none of the phone calls or interfering with the phone calls. But she let him know that, listen, you're not supposed to interfere with any of the phone calls with mom and child. So she did elaborate on that. So also we talked about child having a cell phone. It's a right for a parent to give a cell phone to the child for communication. Well, she agreed with that. So you know how that goes. My ex-husband actually agreed with me. So my son gets to utilize his phone in text messages and stuff like that. So it wasn't as bad. The thing about that hearing wasn't as bad, but it didn't go nowhere to where I wanted to go. It stayed still. And so what I mean by that is that she didn't hold him in contempt. She didn't give him attorney fees. She didn't do anything like that. She kind of played it safe, kind of like balanced it out and was like, look, this is what I see. I can't knock her, but I do have one issue with her about something. I know Judge Shu's done me wrong, and she can read all the orders and she can realize that this woman has been through some things. But I also realize that she's also working with her colleague, because there's things that she mentioned about the diamond ring. Well, I have a lawsuit on Judge Hughes because of him giving the diamond ring of the engagement ring and taking it without giving me due process. And I also was exempt in property before that. So it's res judicata because the case was already heard. And she said she reviewed the tape on July 1st with Judge Greenaway and said that there was no exemption made. She said it was like, well, it was just personal property. I'm sorry, we talked all about the jury. And when we talked about it, the judge had mentioned, hey, that she has an exemption of $8,000 anyway, and you have not mentioned anything that said that is past $8,000. And we talked about my brother's business. We talked about, and my kid's father's business. We talked about that and how that didn't correlate with me. And I was just the agent of, providing service, and that's all. So we talked about that, but she said that she listened to the tape twice. I didn't agree, so I went and got the audio. After we finished and done with court, I went and got the audio because I knew I received an exemption, and it should have been honored because I already had court. Judge Hughes had no business hearing that case with me or dealing with me. That case that day, October 25th, was only supposed to be MCM Fashion's court day, and I was ordered to appear. That's it. I already had a ruling. But she didn't acknowledge that. And this is what I have to say. She's wrong. And I believe that there's a issue with that to me, because I know she's not trying to throw her colleague under the bus, but the facts is there. So she ruled differently with that, and I'm not happy with that. Do I want to appeal? I don't really care for appealing on that because I'm going to sue Judge Hughes. So I have no problem with that. I have my evidence, and that's what I'm sticking with. So you will listen to this and you tell me what you hear, because this is what I'm talking about and this is what happened. So here we go. This is actually, I'll tell you who's talking.
Allowing us to
That's Ryan Castman, my ex-husband's attorney.
Clary-Ghosh transferred MCM Fashions at any point, these vehicles, whatever, and also consider ordering that any Jewish has no personal possession or control if the order to satisfy the judge.
But I think isn't the jury subject to considerable indebtedness?
Well, I think there's $6,000. I think the jury is. I think it's in her possession. I don't know if it's a. I think it's an account she opened and she purchased it. She's paying on it. Whether she has a jewelry or not isn't the issue. It's her jewelry. I suppose Sterling could come in and ask for it back as part of their collection, but they're probably just going to get judgment against her if she doesn't pay it.
Okay. Well, this time, I mean, she didn't have an $8,000 personal property exemption. I don't think we've established she's got 8 grams worth of staff. And I have some procedural questions regarding the MC.
Did you hear that? I hope you did. He said, let me actually say one more piece.
Enterprises Fashions LLC, whatever it is. So at this time, I respectfully deny your request.
At this time, I'm going to deny your request. That's the other piece that you didn't hear. Judge Greenaway said she is entitled to $8,000 of personal exemption. $8,000 of exemption of personal property. We mentioned the jury. He wanted the jury. He wanted the ring. But he said You have not established she has more than $8,000 of personal property. She's entitled to it. We mentioned that the ring was $6,000. He said, well, she's also isn't at engagement and consider engagement. So to me, he said I had an exemption. I don't understand why Judge Burdock did not hear this tape and say that's what he said. We weren't alluding to anything else. We talked about the jury. That's what we talked about. So that is a problem that I have with judicial deception. I have a problem with that because I don't understand where she's going with it. This is the evidence. Why didn't she say this in court? You know, it makes me wonder. Is she helping the other side? Which I don't trust that they're not. They all work together. So why wouldn't she do it any differently? So I wonder about her now. Because this evidence is telling me that I had an exemption and no one is honoring that. Why? It only took me to listen to this tape one time that Judge Greenaway said, and I say it again, she is entitled to a $8,000 exemption personal property. You have not established that she is more than $8,000. Why would you not think that that was acceptable? And Judge Huge had took the ring when a month ago I was exempt. Why would you not think that that was acceptable? These are the things that people do in court that you have to pay attention to because it's not right. It's not legal and it's not right. So I'm not happy with that outcome. I think something is wrong here. You heard it yourself. So that is going to be my segment today. I am watching her closely. Right now, I have a problem with that. I do not know what she's going to do with the custody, the modification of parenting time. I'm asking for a parenting God and Lightem, parenting coordinator. Hopefully, she is going to rule a lot better with this. Because at this point, I'm disappointed that she did not catch that. I can't say too much about the first right to refusal. Part of me believe maybe we didn't argue the points. But she didn't hold him in contempt. But I'm hoping that she stay aware of what my ex-husband is doing. He still is not following orders the way it's presented. So, please tune in to next time. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them. My phone number is, my email is potpourri55@hotmail.com. Feel free to send a comment or call me 617-388-8637. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for reviewing. Also, don't forget to subscribe or leave any information because these segments are going to be contributed to the movie Love and Deception as well. So, thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you so much for tuning in. And please just follow up. Next court hearing is February 27th. I'll probably update you on some more segments because there's some other audios that I have of Judge Hughes and of what happened to me in court. And I would love to share the awareness to people. Thank you. And bye. God bless.